Nemo, you're currently living in paradise. How does it feel?
Well, you know, like in that song that goes something like "Heaven beside me, hell within." You see,
Oh, that
Zahlu.
one. Alice in
Yeah,
Chains.
that's it. That's
That's
it.
how you're feeling.
Often I feel like this. Right now I'm a little bit better because I had my coffee, I had my other
You've
sort
had your
of.
medicine.
I had my medicine.
You've
That's
had your
right.
medication.
And I found some place under the tree. You know, I like to sit in the same places that where dogs like to relieve themselves.
So you're really like sitting in the shit and piss. No, maybe not the shit.
Look,
Maybe not the shit, but the piss.
let's make it less disgusting, because if we do seek some sort of acknowledgement and popularity, people just generally want a positive vibe, you
Now,
know.
you're in
And here we are.
Okay,
We're
I
in
get
Byron
that.
Bay.
I get that. You're currently living in a golden cage in paradise. How are you going with finding yourself a good woman?
Look, I don't even look anymore. I still look, but
You
it's
don't
a,
tou-
it's,
you
it's a
can't
rather
touch.
passive looking. And the look in my eyes says, I wish, but I won't, because, well, she's too young and beautiful and I'm too jaded and old. There's that comparison. I'm sure a lot of dirty old men like myself experience it. It's a stage in life.
Well, the bottom line is, I suppose now, you know, we all are midlife, and it's okay to be a dirty old man now, I suppose. You can just own it.
I think the tag comes with action. Just to look, I mean, it's still dirty, isn't it? Like a perv. He's a perv. He sits there, you know, near the beaches or cafes, and he just spots the beautiful women and try to penetrate the mini skirts with his
Now,
stare.
you're currently living in the biggest little town in Australia called Mullumbimby. How's that going?
I get bored with repetition. Even paradise will
Get
become
bored with
heaven
Hippie what? Did you
with
say?
repetition. No,
Hippie what?
no,
Repetition.
with repetition, yeah.
I
with
thought you
the
said hippie
with
shit.
the routines. Hippie shit, yeah. Look, I actually often put whenever I fill up some forms, you know, I put occupation hippie, just to watch the faces when they read it. You know, it's like what? Because I define hippie myself, because every hippie should define themselves.
Even though you haven't got long hair.
So that's it. So I don't put in my definition that the hippie is supposed to have long hair, dreadlocks, and this and that, walk
So you're more of
barefoot.
an internal hippie, not an external
There is an element of freedom in it, but it doesn't have to be seeking the confirmation and joining some rituals in anybody's relationships.
So you're about to go for a swim. Now, when you go for a swim, do you feel cleansed of the demons?
I feel like my system's shocked into some sort of form of discomfort, which, as we know, the only road to personal growth. Without
But I'm sure
pain, there is no
swimming does
gain.
clean you of something. I know when I go for a swim, I feel better.
Well, it's got salt in it, extract shampoo and soap. As a matter of fact, I don't even own a bar of soap.
Okay.
I use it occasionally in some hotels where I happen to be, or some friends' houses. But at home, this is ocean, which has got salt, which eats out the things. I rub a bit with the sand. You see me plucking some sand and rubbing my
Okay, so
armpits,
that's it. You're
my
naturally
groin.
exfoliating
Yeah,
your skin
yeah. And
with
then
the
you
sand.
come home and you rinse in the creek.
Okay.
And you come
Beautiful. I
out
love it.
as a baby.
That's a very hippie thing.
It
to do.
doesn't dry your skin. So I'm a bit of a hippie. I do this. I also like urinating under the trees or bushes somewhere, or at least in the field of, you know, grass. I do not like bathrooms, because I try to follow my friend over there for urinal, urinal, and there were two guys next to each other. There was one space in between them, you know. I
don't
could
go
have
in
fit it in.
between. I don't
I just
go in
don't want. I don't have a big penis to show off, but that's not the main reason. It's also the prostate that doesn't work as good now anymore.
Oh, yeah, it takes a while.
And I
yeah,
have to
okay.
stay there and milk it,
Yeah,
milk
me
it.
too. I'm a
And
bit
people
like
say,
that.
"What are you doing
Midlife
there?"
thing.
You know, they think something else. Yeah, I don't want misunderstandings.
Now, Nemo, so what do you actually do for a living?
What do you mean by living is, of course, finances, right? That's what people always like curious. You know, how do you slave yourself to the system? You know, how do you get your bickies, your monies, your points, your social credit system? You know, validation. So the supermarket, the system, will release some nutrition so you can continue carry your bonds for a few years longer around this place.
So you've obviously got
I
the,
receive free money from the government because
government royalties.
I wouldn't accept anything less than a freedom. I said, look, my job is already fully realized. I'm a poet, I'm a musician, I'm a philosopher,
Bass
I'm a
player? Play
meditator, bass player,
I can vouch for that.
and I'm a sun soaker.
That's a great. That's a
You see this
job
fucking
description.
suntan, you
There
know?
we go. That's
You
a
don't
great,
get it for
that's a
nothing.
great
Yeah?
description.
The-
I like that, sun soaker.
And for me, it's like sunshine is holding this, the highest of priorities. When the morning comes and the clock says 9 o'clock news or work, I say, no, this is my news. I open the curtain and the sun streams up on my body.
Yeah, awesome. I love that. Now, you, without going into detail, you went off your medicine for a couple of months, and you said life got quite boring.
Well, life was boring before I discovered medicine as well.
So it's extra boring without the medicine.
It seems like once you get used to a life of perception, wonder,
Insights.
insights, this it's a boost of your interest to life itself, whether you're in the life or external life, all of it suddenly becomes more attracted to you and you to it.
Okay, a little bit less boring.
So, well, in reality, life is never boring, but it's we ourselves that feeling disconnected from reality, or it has become so familiar that again we don't feel like even penetrating it. Why would I look at this rubbish bin? I see it fucking every day, you know. So
But
we
when you have your medicine,
glaze
you
over.
get a different angle.
You can forget the past, and that's why it's not practical. Maybe the government forbids it because people become less practical. I've forgotten how to drive this delivery truck. Sorry, I gotta go home and watch Netflix instead. You know, so our skill become damaged, perhaps. We have troubles learning. We become this like animals almost, and all our achievements, starting from Einstein to the modern day, who gonna split the fucking atoms? Who gonna do the quantum physicists?
Someone's got to
If
do it.
everybody just
I
wasted,
agree.
we
Someone's
could,
gotta do it.
you know, talk Star Wars. Maybe we can wonder, but we'll become like children.
100%.
And the government doesn't want us to be children. We need to be adults who take responsibility of their
Exactly.
lives, wear pants in public, have the IDs, personal IDs. Like,
up your slave
where is
dog.
you? You've got your ID because we're adults. We're not some animals. I've got my driver's license here and cash flow card.
Cool. Okay. Cool. Now you've got a. How old's your son?
He's 14, yes,
And
turning
you're saying
15.
the other day he's pretty immersed into the online phone thing. Is that a concern
That's
for you?
look. I don't want to represent my son in some
no,
light.
no,
I think
we
it's
can
a
move on, we can
it-
move
it's
on.
a problem that is
I think
affecting.
it's a general thing.
It's a
for
general
the youth
thing.
today.
We ourselves recording right now in order to attract more people to
Oh,
the
no,
screens,
I get it,
and so poor people will fall victim to our dubious charisma instead of. Well, they probably won't. Now after this
No,
laughter.
I'm with you, man. I think it's
No,
a
I
general,
like that
it's
laughter.
a general
I
thing.
wish I could
I've got
laugh.
to be careful about being too addicted to my phone as well. All right, well, let's wrap it up. You're about to go for a swim, and I think it's probably a good time to jump in the ocean and cleanse yourself of those
And
demons.
unfortunately, or fortunately, I will be swimming without clothes. And as
What do you mean? You can't do it in Main Beach.
I was already told that controversial things, you know, like certain rituals and behaviors that are explicitly forbidden by the ruling governments, the control freak.
Wasn't there a new beach down there, but they stopped it, didn't they?
They stopped it because there's some new people moving in. They come from conservative backgrounds. They're even less connected to the nature,
Sure.
and therefore they freak out of any expression of it, you know. And of course, the genitals is the most natural thing. It's like a fruit, you know. You know, your trees is like branches. You gotta do it. That's why I like naked headstands, you know, because you open your legs and the sun's streaming right into middle of you, and in the middle there's a fruit, you know. It should be noted that it's very useful healthy exercise and partially the way to improve your vitality and fertility. See, people, fertilize.